Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Um, Today I'm going to be reading you guys the first chapter off of my phone of The Rise of the Aurora, a book I wrote that I am super excited to be sharing with y'all, and I hope you enjoy, and it will be in the playlist. So I will be reading it off my phone like I said, but I've worked really hard on it, and I hope you guys enjoy. So we'll just go straight to it. So, chapter 1 I named The Awakening. So, we'll just go with it. The sun shone over the hills that brought the beautiful landscape close to the town. The request to meet George at the waterfall seemed simple, but really it was just the start to my adventure. I was born with the knowledge of a normal kid's childhood, but my destiny was decided before my mother had become pregnant with me. It was time to meet in the spring and start my adventure. Loneliness pervades the hour of Aurora. We must not talk of sadness, however. I have a favor to ask of you, River. I was to deliver something to the royal family in 2 days. This task was mine to fulfill by the mayor, but would you go for me? You have not set foot in the town before, correct? In the kingdom of the Valley of the Enchanted, a town surrounds the castle's gates. This town is much bigger than our small town, and far bigger than the valley is the rest of the world the gods have created. You must see it for yourself. It is nearly nightfall. We should go back to the village. I will ask the mayor about this matter. We stepped across the wooden bridge, bringing my horse, Raven, with me. The rest, well, the morning would decide. We came up to my house, and I went inside. I peered out the window as I heard someone call my name. Hey, River, are you up there? I know it's getting late, but would you help me herd the goats? They haven't been listening to me lately. Hey, where's Raven? Matthew lived next to the town shop. He seemed friendly enough, but alas, he was always making me herd his goats. I always enjoyed giving a helping hand, though. Raven had left without my notice. I had to get Raven before I would have been able to help Matthew. I went towards the forest to find her. I had to be quick. It would turn to dark soon, and that would make it impossible to find her. I followed the path towards the spirit waterfall. The trees grew tall, holding their magical wonders to their roots and all the way up to their leaves. Many times Raven had gotten lost in the woods, so finding her was nothing special. Once I reached deep enough into the forest, I found the waterfall. It shimmered and glowed, holding all kinds of connections and secrets just waiting to be discovered. I was surprised when I found Raven with my friend. I wondered why she would have taken Raven to the spring. I approached her, watching as she pet Raven. She smiled and turned to see me. I smiled back. I had known Lily since we were kids. We usually worked together to help the mayor with his chores most of the time, but when we were younger, we used to play more together. I remembered a moment back, maybe 3 years ago, when we were at the lake fetching water for the mayor. As she bent down, she turned around and splashed me with a pail of water. I fell back and scratched my arm on a bush. She helped me up, smiling down on me, then apologized. She then went and spent most of her rupees the mayor had given her for helping water his garden to buy supplies to help heal my wound. She was the kindest, most brilliant person I had ever met. I had always kept a little piece in my heart reserved for her. Oh, hi, River. I washed Raven for you. I smiled and nodded. Raven worked really hard, so I thought she deserved a treat. Oh, River, could you do a favor for me? Raven really likes that song that you play when you use the grass, Lily said. I nodded and turned to see the grass she was pointing to. I smiled and started playing. It sounded beautiful to me as well. Whenever I played this song for Raven, she would trot up right next to me, and she did. I got up onto the saddle and turned my head one last time to see Lily. She smiled back. I encouraged Raven to move forward, and we ran back home. I walked past home when we got there and into the village. The neighbors were chattering amongst themselves outside. They enjoyed hanging around each other when the moon was almost shining. I walked with Raven past all the townspeople to meet Oliver, who lived just outside Matthew's ranch. The neighbors were often cheerful. I had grown to love them all. George lived closest to the mayor's house, with his wife and kids. Across from them was Sahara. She was a single mom with adorable but insanely annoying kids. I still loved them with all myself. However, the kids that seemed to pretend to own the town were little Isaac, brave Liam, shy Cassidy, and a definitely interesting Sarah. They were pranksters, but were always fun to be around. I also knew Harry, Frida, Claire, and John. Once I reached the mayor's house, I carefully got off Raven and walked up to Oliver. "Oh, River, you're going to go help Matthew. Good job. You just missed him. He went up to the ranch. You better go and finish up your chores before the sun goes down," he said. I sighed and headed up the hill to the ranch. Matthew was standing next to the barn waving to me as he said, "Hey, River, there you are. You remember the drill, right? Just chase after the ghosts with Raven and lead them into the barn." I spent the next half hour twisting and turning and also yelling. Eventually I got them all into the barn. "River, Raven, most obliged to both y'all. I've got it all under control for tomorrow, so you just sit back and relax. For today, maybe you want to practice jumping the fences? I can set them up real quick." I nodded and waited while he set up the fences. "All right, go get 'em, bud." I backed up to the edge of the gate to prepare. Then I charged with Raven towards the fences. Yeah, I yelled. It went rather smoothly, except I think we hit the fence with one of Raven's hooves. Then we went back to the house to get a good night's rest. Well, guys, that is the first chapter of my book, and I hope you enjoyed. So as you can see, River is this really amazing character, and they don't speak, and they're non-binary, and they go through these adventures, and they kind of start in this town called Glade Village, and they're supposed to deliver this package to the royal family in the Valley of the Enchanted, which they've never gone to before. So that was chapter 1, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time for my next chapter.